Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm continuing my declutter series. So today I'm going to be decluttering my bronzers. I don't have as many bronzers as you might expect, but we'll see. Maybe you expect that I have way more than I do. I'm going through my entire drawer of bronzers. I'm pulling out ones that I can declutter. So they're still in good condition, just I'm not using them. And those I will send to Project Beauty Share. They're a nonprofit that sanitizes makeup and makes sure it gets to those in need. And if things are old or used up or just gross, I'm tossing it. So what I will go through is all my bronzers one by one and let you guys know why I'm keeping it, why I'm tossing it, or why I'm decluttering it. I hope you guys enjoy. So this is an e.l.f. bronzer. This is in the shade Sunkissed. I just don't reach for this and it looks like it's getting a little funky. I'm either going to declutter or throw this away. I'm gonna give it a smell test and see how it's looking. From 100% Pure, this is their Cocoa Pigmented Bronzer in Cocoa Glow. This one is a pretty dark bronzer. I can only use this when I'm very tan, but I am going to keep it because I do really like the formula. This is from Pure Cosmetics. It is their Mineral Glow Bronzer. It does have a slight sheen to it. I'm going to keep this one. I haven't used it a ton, but I do really like the formula. I think it just goes on really smooth and it's really easy to blend out. This is the Too Faced Dark Chocolate Soliel. Again, this is one that I can only wear when I'm really tan, but I'm going to keep it for that reason. I do really like it when I'm using like Ultra Dark by Loving Tan. This is a really good bronzer to have on hand, and it's really good as a body bronzer too, so I'm going to hold on to it. I have a little e.l.f. baked bronzer in here. This is in the shade Los Cabos. I'm going to keep this one. It's a little bit dark for me, but honestly, I think it's pretty. I like the little shimmer to it, and I tend to use it as an eyeshadow sometimes too, or if you're really tan, this is a really good kind of shimmery highlight. This is an e.l.f. baked highlight and bronzer duo. I'm going to keep this one. I like it. Actually, I might. Going back to that first one, I'm going to declutter this one and keep this one instead. I just feel like I'm not going to use it enough to justify having this entire pan, but this is probably one that I would actually use, so I'm going to declutter this first one. Oh, I love this one. It's from Mineral Fusion. It's their Luster Bronzer. It has a matte bronzer and then like a shimmery highlight bronzer on the other side. Really pretty. This is also really good to do your eyes with when you're having like a lazy makeup day or a no makeup day, so I'm definitely keeping this one. This is an e.l.f. contouring blush and bronzer duo. I just don't really use this ever, so I'm going to declutter it. This is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. I just got this recently. I've been using it a ton right now that my skin is really pale, so I'm definitely keeping this. From The Balm, this is Bahama Mama. This is like such a classic bronzer. The Balm just launched more vegan bronzers too, by the way, which I definitely want to get. I like this one. I don't use it as much as I should, but it blends out really nicely. I'm going to keep it. So from Tarte, this is Park Avenue Princess. Honestly, this is a few years old, so I'm going to toss it. I used to love this bronzer. This was like my holy grail bronzer for a really long time, back before I discovered Chocolate Soleil, but this one is just old and ready to go. From 100% Pure, this is actually a powder foundation in Golden Peach. As you guys can see, I've gotten a lot of use out of this one. I am definitely going to keep it. It is probably my favorite bronzer, and I love that their powder foundation comes in so many shades. That can be really helpful when you're trying to find a bronzer that works for you. Powder foundations can sometimes be a better option. All right, from Too Faced, this is the regular Chocolate Soleil. I'm going to get rid of this one. It's really old. It's pretty gross in there. I don't know if you guys can tell. So this specific one I'm going to throw away. From Note Cosmetics, this is their Luminous Silk Compact Powder. I'm going to keep this just because I haven't used it and I'm really curious what it's like. I think this might actually be a powder foundation or a face powder, but on me it's a bronzer, so I'm going to keep it and try it as that. I have the Too Faced Soulmates Blushing Bronzer Duos. The first one is Carrie and Big, and then I have Ross and Rachel. I'm so torn on these. I love them. I love the packaging, but I just don't really use them that much. I think I'm going to keep them for now and try and force myself to use them more, and if I don't, I'll get rid of them in my next declutter. Like when the packaging's so cute, it's really hard to get rid of for me. From Wet n Wild, this is their Ticket to Brazil Color Icon Bronzer. This one is old. It is super shattered. I'm just going to get rid of this one because I think it is a few years old as well. From e.l.f., this is their bronzer palette. I actually really like this. I felt like in my blush declutter, I got rid of a ton of e.l.f. stuff because a lot of their palettes can be kind of hit or miss, but I think this is actually a really pretty one, so I'm keeping this one. This is another Wet n Wild Ticket to Brazil bronzer. I think this is the replacement I got when that one broke. I'm going to keep this one. It is pretty. And this is a really good drugstore bronzer option too. I think it's one of my favorites from the drugstore. This is an ancient Milani baked bronzer. I'm going to get rid of this. It looks pretty funky. It looks like it's like cracking in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I honestly don't even know when I got this. It is very old. It's like shrinking away from the pan. Yeah, this has got to go. So I have over here 2 backup chocolate Soleils from Too Faced. I'm going to keep these just because this was my holy grail bronzer for several years. After I stopped using the Tarte one, I started using this one. There's a reason I have backups. I got rid of the old one. I'm just going to keep both of these. All right, this is a bronzer palette from Pixi. I'm going to keep this. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I like it, but I don't feel like it's a bronzer palette, if that makes sense. Like, these are highlights. Anyway, let's not get into that. I am keeping it because overall I do like it. And this little palette, I have a few bronzers from Root. I'm going to keep all of these. I love Root's bronzers so much. The Maya bronze is really, really pretty. This is one of my favorites from them. And then Semi-Sweet. But yeah, their bronzers are really nice, so I'm just going to keep all of them. Moving on to my loose and my cream bronzers. I have 3 from Au Naturel. I have Warm, Kissed, and Golden Henna. I'm keeping all of these. I love these. Kissed is a really, really good shade. I use this even back in their old packaging. It's so good. I have a couple of their cream bronzers, Caramel and Latte. I'm definitely keeping both of these. They are so pretty, so easy to blend out. From Katie Botanicals, this is their cream bronzer. It is really shimmery, but I think it's really pretty. It's good as an eye base too. I am going to keep this one. I'm not doing well at getting rid of things. From Eco Minerals, this is their Eco Exotic bronzer. I'm going to keep this one too. I can't get it open right now. But I'm going to keep this because it looks like it's pretty. So I have a few Root sample bronzers back here. I'm going to keep those as well. Like I mentioned with their sample of blushes, they're really great for travel. They're just really easy. I have some ColourPop bronzers. I'm going to get rid of these ones. I've had them a while. I don't really care for the formula. They're just not my favorite bronzers, so I'm going to get rid of them. This is a bronzer from Hynt Beauty. This is in the shade Soliel. This is just a sample. I don't really reach for this, so I'm going to declutter it. Oh, here is my Ancient Kissed bronzer from Au Naturel. I'm going to get rid of this. I have had this for like 4 or 5 years. I want to keep it because I love this shade, but it is not sanitary to keep it, so this will go in the garbage. A couple of other old bronzers from Au Naturel, Warm and Luminous, which I now have in the new packaging, so I'm going to be getting rid of these as well. Again, these ones I've had for a few years as well. They're just past their prime, so I'm going to toss these. I have a Modern Minerals bronzer in the shade Pink Gold. This one is really pretty. I don't know if they still make this anymore. I've had this way too long, so I am going to get rid of it. Oh, that looks so pretty though. That makes me want to keep it, but I feel like it's just not good. Like the blush that was in my declutter video when I was trying to find a link to it, I couldn't even find anywhere online that sells it, so that tells me that this stuff is pretty old and I should probably just let it go. This is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder in Translucent Deep. Obviously, I'm not going to use this as a setting powder. I use it as a bronzer, but I really like the formula, so I am going to keep it for that reason. And I also have the Pure Cosmetics Bronze Your Selfie. This is like a liquid bronzer. I'm going to keep this one too. I think it's pretty. Oh, and this one was hiding. This was a Little Pacifica Glow and Sunkissed duo. I am going to keep this. The bronzer part is a little bit red. It's not my favorite bronzer for that reason, but I do like the duo and I like using them as eyeshadows. So now that I have narrowed stuff down and gotten rid of things, I'm going to do a little bit of tidying up in here. Looks like I don't have that much tidying up to do other than that I spilled bronzer everywhere. Leave a comment below. Let me know what bronzer is your favorite and what one you think I should add to my collection, and I'll see you in my next video.